Mario is back, but this time, he's in space. At the time of recording, I'm actually kind of curious to see what the sequel does, because honestly, the first Super Mario Bros. Movie is kind of lame. I saw this back in theaters when it came out, and I just remember it being pretty forgetful overall. So, before we see Fox McCloud in space, we gotta talk about this one. The movie opens with Bowser stealing the superstar from a bunch of penguins who haven't figured out that snowballs aren't a good defense for your kingdom. We then cut to our Mario brothers in the form of a commercial where they rap about how they're plumbers, and it's not very surprising that it's a pretty bad commercial, and for some reason, they spent their entire life savings on it. One thing that I personally found pretty jarring about this movie is how much it likes to throw nods and winks to the game. Like, when they're in this pizzeria, we see the original Jumpman, which is what Mario was originally called, and the original voice of Mario does his signature wahoo. But instead, we're stuck with Chris Pratt doing a pretty poor Brooklyn Italian accent for 90 minutes. Mario also hates mushrooms in this version because it's funny. It's gonna be so funny later on when he's forced to eat a mushroom and he goes, "Ugh, I don't like mushrooms." Which is really dumb in my opinion, because not only does Mario take place in the Mushroom Kingdom, but he's also known for eating mushrooms. So, after dinner, Mario and Luigi try to save Brooklyn from a pipe that's causing some flooding, and one thing leads to another, leading the brothers to finding the famous green pipe that teleports them to the Mushroom Kingdom. Well, Mario goes to the Mushroom Kingdom. Luigi gets sent to scary Bowser Land, so Mario has some kind of motivation for this movie. And I'm just gonna say this here, the relationship between Mario and Luigi is boiled down to Mario is always there for Luigi, and that's it. Mario runs into Toad, who takes him to Princess Peach's castle, which makes me a little curious. If Peach is the princess, who is the queen and or king? We learn later on that she just stumbled into the Mushroom Kingdom and the Toads took her in, eventually making her their princess. But where did they get princess from? Did they ever have a king or queen? Mario then gets body slammed by Peach, who insults him for his small size. She's in shock that he's a human, and without questioning anything else, she just offers to train him so he can help her defeat Bowser. I feel like maybe she should be a little bit more cautious or concerned about a random human man showing up in this world where there are no other human men, but yeah, whatever. Peach then shows Mario a rejected design from American Ninja Warrior, and she tells him that if he completes this course, he can go with her to fight Bowser. Oh, and during this moment, we get the big joke about Mario hating mushrooms when he refuses to eat one.
Ugh, really?
Go on, eat it.
Now this has to be a mushroom? Because I just hate mushrooms and... Okay.
Also, I Need a Hero plays during this sequence, and that somehow feels disrespectful to Shrek 2. The next day, Peach and Mario leave together to save the world with Toad, because this movie just skips over any kind of character building. It's more focused on the "look at that thing from the games" moment than it is on anything, really. Our trio go to the Jungle Kingdom to ask Cranky Kong for help, because they're basically Mario Kart. They're only in this movie to just give us Mario Kart. Also, that monkey's dead. Cranky Kong refuses to give Peach his army, so Mario has to fight Donkey Kong, which starts with Mario getting his ass whooped before he turns into a cat and wins the match. We also get some classic Seth Rogen laughing during this moment, which I don't hate, but hearing it come out of Donkey Kong's mouth is a little weird.
I guess he got the wrong mushroom.
Next, we get a Mario Kart building montage so we can get Mad Max Rainbow Road. And after all the fighting and green shell throwing, only Peach and Toad make it through because we get a blue shell moment that takes out Mario and Donkey Kong while also destroying the Rainbow Road.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
And everybody else just gets taken by Bowser and held prisoner. So really, everything that's happened up until this point in the movie is kind of all for nothing. So Bowser and his floating fortress of fire shows up at Peach's castle so he can profess his love for her and eventually convince her to marry him. Meanwhile, Mario and Donkey Kong get swallowed by a giant eel fish thing, which only lasts for literally half a scene before they just escape. Sometimes it feels like this movie wants to move as fast as possible, so you don't have time to think about how stupid and bad and stupid it really is. Because next, Peach pulls a fast one on Bowser by turning into Elsa from Frozen so she can use ice powers to save the prisoners from being sacrificed and beat some of the bad guys up. All while Mario and Donkey Kong do some more video game action against the Koopas with power-ups and jumping and running, and look, it looks like the game, so you're entertained and whatever. They end up saving everyone, but Bowser launches a giant bullet bill to destroy the kingdom, so Mario distracts it by launching it into the pipe that leads back to Brooklyn. I honestly can't stand how stupid Mario is in this movie. Like, every decision he makes is either played for a laugh, or when you analyze it for more than 2 seconds, you realize it's just a really dumb thing he did. This is, of course, so the final fight can be on the streets of New York City, which in my opinion, just doesn't work. Nothing about this final showdown with Bowser feels Mario-esque, which is dumb since they tried so hard during this movie to make everything else feel like the games, but when it came to the final fight, they just said, fuck it? And then the movie has the nerve to have Mario and Luigi use the star and ever so faintly put a version of the star song in, but it's layered underneath another score, so it just feels half-assed, like most of this movie. So they shrink Bowser down, everyone cheers for Mario and Luigi since they saved Brooklyn, even though they're the reason a giant turtle dragon almost destroyed the city in the first place, and in the end, the brothers become plumbers for the Mushroom Kingdom. The end. See, I'm torn when it comes to kids' movies, because yes, this Super Mario movie is definitely meant for a younger audience, but there's a large part of the audience, like myself, that would have grown up with a lot of the Super Mario games. So I feel like the balance could have been a little bit better for the older audience to enjoy a little bit more, and then still have the things for the younger audience to be entertained by bright lights and colors. And trust me, I know that this was meant for kids, but it still feels really lazy. Like, to the point, I would honestly believe this was either written by ChatGPT or was just the first pass of the script that everyone did, and when they looked at it, they went, yeah, it's fine. The Peaches song from Jack Black feels like they just put him in front of a piano, hit record, and went, have at it, Mr. Jack Black, and sing a song. It also feels like the whole plot is moving forward, but things are mostly just happening so we can get to the next thing from the games. The only reason Cranky Kong helps is so we can get a Mario Kart sequence that has no payoff. In the end, everyone just gets captured anyways. And even when Mario and Donkey Kong are in a tight spot, within seconds of being introduced to that situation, they're fine. See? They're already at the big battle. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. I do think that the whole budget went into the animation though, because this movie at least looks really good. Like, really freaking good. Every scene is phenomenal and shows off some incredible details and coloring that make it really nice to look at. But that isn't enough to distract me from my burning questions about this world or this version. Why does everyone in Mario and Luigi's family hate them? And maybe it's not hate, but goddamn, none of them think they're capable of doing or accomplishing anything. At one point, his dad literally tells him, don't go after your dreams, just work a regular job and give up on life. I mean, at one point, even a dog tried to murder them just because Luigi broke his bone in two. No one at all likes them, and I find it super funny. Mainly because the one person who instantly likes and trusts them is Peach, the princess who body slammed a guy who was clearly not supposed to be in her castle. If anything, I feel like we need a Luigi's Mansion spin-off movie, We get a little bit of that when he's literally standing inside a mansion at one point, and they've set him up to be scared like he is in the games. I truly believe that would be way more fun to watch than another Mario movie, because Charlie Day's Luigi is probably the best casting for this entire movie. And unlike Luigi's casting, I just can't with Chris Pratt as Mario. His voice, first and foremost, does not fit at all.
And you can jump.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
I won't apologize. I stand by the fact that he is a bad Mario, for no reason other than the fact that his voice doesn't fit Mario. Did you also know that the full names of the Mario brothers are Mario Mario and Luigi Mario? Nintendo, what's up with that? It's kind of like all the random pop music that plays for no reason whatsoever in this movie. None of it fits the moment, and the needle drops are incredibly out of place. We go from a rendition of a classic Mario theme right into Take On Me by Aha while they ride through the Jungle Kingdom, which is weird because Donkey Kong has so many good tracks. But I guess the classic band Aha is a good choice too? Or how right after Cranky Kong mentions that they need to do a Mario Kart, fucking Thunderstruck ramps up, which is almost as bad as Mr. Blue Sky playing at the end of the movie while we look up at a fucking blue sky. And I like all of these songs by themselves, but their placement in this movie is a real head scratcher to me. Another head scratcher is how long it takes Bowser to get to the Mushroom Kingdom, even though he has a fucking wizard on his team. I mean, he really took his time going to Princess Peach's castle after he beat up some penguins, because we have plenty of time to do everything from the games before he even shows up. But I will say that at least this version is better than that weird Fever Dream Blade Runner knockoff that we got from the 90s. In that one, Mario's a 50-year-old Mario who fights weird creatures with tiny heads and big bodies. Again, I know this is meant for kids, but as a now adult who as a kid liked Mario, I think there just could have been a tad more. But these are all just my reasons for not liking this movie. I'm sure there are plenty of people who do, and to them, I say, cool, I'm glad you liked it. And then we all just move on. However, I still think this sucks pretty hard, so it's going into just plain garbage.